All right, let's find the inverse. So remember that this is the same thing as y equals, and this is the same thing as x. So when we see that, we know that we are just swapping these out. So I'm going to change it to x equals -3/5 y minus 9/5. So changing g of n to the y value, changing the n to the x, just to keep it simple. Inverses are challenging. You want to keep it as simple as you can, and you just need to know that whatever that notation is equal to y equals, and then the second step is to flip-flop those. Swap x and y. And the third step is to solve for y, because now we have an equation that's solved for x. It needs to be solved for y. So there are lots of ways to solve this equation. If you and I do it differently, but we get the same answer, then our methods both work. I'm actually going to multiply this entire equation by 5 and get rid of the fraction, just so I can work with this equation a little bit easier. So I get 5x equals 5 times -3/5. So 5 times -3/5. So those 5's cancel, and I essentially just have -3. It's -3 divided by 1, which is -3. So -3y. And then I multiply 5 times -9/5. Well, that's going to work the same way. The 5's cancel, and I'm left with -9. So -9. So that way, I don't have any fractions. I have a little bit easier sense of how this is going to work. I need to solve for y. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So I've got 5x plus 9 equals -3y. The 9's are gone. The -9 is gone. The last thing is just to divide everything by -3. Okay, so let's see what that gives me. Y equals 5x over -3. So that doesn't reduce, just I've got a -5/3x is how I would write it. You might see it as -5x/3. Those are equivalent, so either one's good. And then 9 divided by -3 is -3. And so this would be your final answer, although you might see it written, since it started out, remember back here before I marked it out, it was g of n, which is, just different little notation. So just know that you might see your final answer written this way. G inverse of not x, but n. Let me change that back. It was an n. And then you just write whatever you got here, -5/3 n minus 3. So that would also, that would go back to the original notation. So that would be good to have it that way. All right. I hope that was helpful. I'll see you the next time.